It's a rare moment when tens of millions of people all stop and look up at the same thing and are mesmerized.
We knew it was coming. We knew where the path was going to be. The big question was, could you see it?
The day of, there was just a buzz in the newsroom. Everyone was so excited because a lot of us hadn't actually seen a total solar eclipse before.
And all the scientists will tell you, and all the people who've experienced it will tell you, 95% eclipse is one thing, 99% is another, but there's nothing like being in totality because it is just such a different effect.
Next, Eric Sorensen moonlights as an eclipse chaser for a day, road tripping from Toronto to Cornwall to experience this extraordinary event.
So we're in the zone of totality. It's still overcast. Stupid clouds.
We stopped in at a couple of the en routes along the way. I thought, well, maybe we'll find some people that are doing what we're doing. Sure enough, there were lots of people that were leaving Toronto or leaving areas where they couldn't see it and searching for the eclipse. It was this, this kind of treasure hunt.
We're gonna go to Kingston, but we're checking the cloud data.
We were in Niagara Falls and it wasn't looking good. The clouds were hanging tough. There were thousands that were out wanting to see this great wonder with another great wonder, which is the falls. So we left Niagara Falls and we started to make our way to where on satellite and on modeling was a higher likelihood of it being clear.
We just started driving up the coast and we were literally looking up at the clouds to see where they were going to kind of break and at what time they would break.
We were so lucky in New Brunswick. There was barely a cloud in the sky. So myself and my camera person, Reynold, and all the other people who had gathered there really had what I would argue would be kind of one of the best views in Canada for this event.
What exactly happens to your eyes if you look up during a solar eclipse? And how will you know if you've been affected?
We wanted to make sure that our national audience was equipped with all the right information, and that really came down to how do you watch the eclipse safely and how do you get those safety features. The other part of that was figuring out that information for ourselves so that we could go out into the field armed with that information so that our crews were safe while covering the eclipse.
When something of this magnitude is taking place, it's all hands on deck because it is such a fast-moving, fast-paced story, multi-market, multi-location. It's the producers, the chase producers, the writers, the directors, making sure that we have the right shots up.
We obviously have to aim straight up into the sky, which is a bit of an issue, and we were on like a rocky shoal on a beach, and we set it up, and I believe it was 100,000 ND filter on this thing, so it was essentially like a pair of glasses.
It was looking like a lunar letdown, too much cloud cover to see anything, but there it is, making a brief appearance through the clouds, a total eclipse.
I wasn't expecting the full body feeling of, wow, this is incredible.
Woo! As soon as I saw it, it looked exactly like a 360 sunset all the way around you. It was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life.
It's like a surreal painting. You'd expect Magritte or Dali to come up with something like this where the sky looks like this and then you've cut a hole in it and there it is, this blackness with this little bright rim around it.
We looked up and it was the cloudiest day ever. And so there was a bit of a letdown effect in Toronto, but I know for a few brief moments, some of my colleagues were able to look up and see some really stunning images.
It brought an excitement and a togetherness in the newsroom. And it wasn't just us in this newsroom, it was across Canada.
I think it's magnificent that occasionally something happens where everybody goes, hey, let's all stop and look up.
Like you just felt kind of that kind of communal emotion of awe and wonder, and that's something you don't get to experience a lot when you're out in the field doing news coverage, especially something that's so universal.
Yeah, people will, for years down the road, be, where were you on April 8th, 2024? And seeing that with a group of people like-minded who just are excited to witness something special. And that was just a really fun experience.
It is one of those stories where you had a chance to do something in your job that you realized, the privilege it is sometimes to do the work we do. You sometimes get an opportunity to see people or go places that you might not have a chance to. And in this case, had a chance to go and see a total eclipse of the sun, and it was absolutely worth it.
I do think it will stand out in my mind as one of the positive news stories that I've covered in my career, which is a good thing.